How's it going, Cancerian community? Now you know who it is. It's Soul Tigress with a story for this wonderful frequency. So first off, thank you for your time, your energy, and your patience as I navigate this story between the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and everything in between. Keep in mind, though, that this is a place where we call in the angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy to come on in and be the guides and protectors for all the positive messages that are going to come out. Now, with that being said, this is not Love Tarot. This channel is geared around self-empowerment. What that means is building the stepping stones to getting closer to our soul being, which helps align us with a higher energy. So let's go ahead and get started with the vibe for the Cancerian community. So first off, you're unsure about the future of a certain investment with something, something, someplace, someone, but it's in particular. This something is not being received, or there's something in particular that's not being received. It has to do with some kind of communication. Either there's a piece of information that you're missing, or for some reason it's being held up. Now there is something going on. There's a lot of somethings here, Cancerian. But I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's something going on behind closed doors. I actually had somebody's ancestor with me, and this ancestor is really, really upset what's happening behind closed doors, behind the Cancerian in this story's back. Now, what they want you to do is they want you to really trust in your intuition, Cancerian. They want you to trust into your gut. You have a particular skill that you're really good at, and that's reading people. You really need to start validating what you're picking up on people, what people are not saying to you, but they're still projecting it out there somehow. You're very sensitive. You're very gifted. Someone doesn't want to tell you something, the whole truth about something, to withhold something. Now, this something is an object. It is something physical, but I'm not sure what it is. I'm not going to go and try and dive deeply into it, because for many people the object can change. The goal of these others, that is their main goal, is that they want to keep whatever this object is away from you. Now, I don't think that this object is something that's bad for you. I don't think that what's happening behind closed doors is like them trying to do an intervention with you. I don't think I'm talking to a Cancerian that's on that frequency. But what I do have is a Cancerian who's giving people the benefit of the doubt because of their relationships with them. This could have to do with what I kept getting is like inheritance. Maybe it could be a promotion, but it's something that's supposed to be gifted towards you or to you. Someone in this group is trying to emotionally manipulate you. And they're going to do it one of two ways. Either it's going to be directly using things to make you feel bad, or what they're going to do is they're going to try and plant something into your thoughts to use like your insecurities against you. Maybe the insecurities of you doubting yourself. maybe questioning yourself so that you don't catch on to what's happening in this situation, Cancerian. But what I get is your ancestor sees what's happening here and they're not liking what's going on. They don't deem it as being fair. And they had, what I get is there's a portion, there's something that was set aside just for you, and your ancestor really wanted to make sure that you had this for some reason. I don't know that reason, but it's really important to them. They wanted you to still have something, knowing that they were still there for you. Trust that intuition, Cancerian. Trust it, trust it, trust it. All right, start believing in yourself, believing in those gifts. Remember, that helps align you with yourself. So let's go ahead and get started. Ancestors, spirit guides, what needs to come out for the introduction for the Cancerian community? Oh man. All right, something we're at odds ends with right away is we don't see how there is unlimited possibilities here. That you're capable of being able to do more, bring in more, have more. Something else we're not seeing is a movement into balance. We're also confused on it. We're confused on how to balance our own energies out. It could be being able to even nurture ourselves in a sense to where we have that confidence in ourselves, that belief, that being able to put your foot down and be stubborn instead of being a doormat. That's the examples that I'm seeing right here. The unlimited possibility of never having to be these others' doormats to where they can walk all over you. Yeah. It comes at change or changes. That could be something that's really hard to face for Cancerian. And that's because Cancerians are such sacrifices. They sacrifice so much for the ones that they care about, the ones that they want to believe in. And then remember, these ones can be people, places, or things. Something else you're at odds ends with is retreat. Getting a break. Getting a break from these others. It could be these others' dramas. Being able to what I'm hearing is know when to fall back. It's like that one song, you gotta know when to hold them, know when to show them, know when to throw them, kind of thing. What else needs to come out? Well, that was interesting. All right. So everything's in due timing. Whatever it is that's going on, it needs to go on. It needs to happen because the divine is here. Whatever it is that happens, and maybe Cancerian, you start to discover what it is, and you may get upset at who it is behind these masks, who it is that's behind these doors. Just know that the wolves needed to be flushed out. That's what I heard. So what do we do in the meantime? How do we deal with it when we're starting to recognize who these wolves are? Well, we need to pour into ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves. For you in particular, Cancerian, it's through your creativity. Whatever it is, when you start to open the door and see who these wolves are, remember to also make time to retreat at the end of the day, to take care of yourself, to pour back into yourself. This could be with a hobby or something. Whatever this is, your ancestors, your guides don't want you to get absorbed in it. They don't want you to absorb what I see is directly the negativity, but it's also going to be like the bitterness of these others. I have a feeling whoever these are, they're really bitter about something. Another thing with that creativity, again, self-care, self-love. When you flush out the wolves, the wolves are going to want to bite back. They are going to want to bite back. And you're going to want to sit there and you're going to want to get a hold of that muzzle with that claw you got there. And you want to say, listen here, pup. I'm tired of your games. But that is not what the lesson is here. What I get is you're not meant to serve out the punishment. You're just meant to flush them out. What do I get that from? I get that from this forgiveness. Being in reverse, being at odds ends between these energies, between the dark of this, but also the light of it. Your ancestor isn't calling you up to do this. These guiding energies aren't calling you up to do this to make, again, you more bitter towards whoever this group is. They don't want you to end up having blinders on, closing yourself off. They would rather you see that it was only you. Only you could help create this change. Only you. It was your mission, your lesson to flush these wolves out. But it comes at the expense of you learning how to believe in yourself. And that belief is reached from within, not from an intellectual level, but a spiritual level. If you go check out that new moon, full moon interpretation with that new moon in Pisces, full moon and Virgo, this speaks upon this a little bit more in depth when it ties the mythology, or how that interpretation and ties the mythology into what we're feeling and what we're facing here. And for you, it's for you to believe in yourself, to believe in your gifts, to know that your frequency is pretty aligned with the divine. You are pretty aligned with the divine. Somehow, I don't know it. I can't say how this is. But I do remember in a lot of your stories, you always get the divine card. You always get the divine timing. Stuff like that. And somehow you are really aligned in that divine's light. Even though you may not see it, you may not feel it, but it could be the way that you operate. Maybe you are more of a compassionate person. Maybe that's why you're being called upon to do this, because somehow you're more aligned in the divine and you're the only one, again, with the moral compass who is able to flesh out these wolves. And it's because these wolves could never come to you to give you this same offer, to put you with them behind the closed doors doing whatever. No, you have a mission here. Wow. Wow. I was not expecting this. Holy moly, Cancerian. Holy moly. It's gonna be work. It's gonna be work. But just remember, you're not there to serve the karma. You're merely there to turn the light on and just show what's happening in this dark. And then you go from there. Alright, so divine and angels, universal energy. What needs to come out for the present? Oh my goodness. I like this because the Seven of Pentacles kept coming out. So the Seven of Pentacles, when I first seen it, it came out in upright. Then it came out in reverse when I was cleansing your card. So I was hoping to see it again. This time it comes out over here with the divine. I think, again, this is the divine reconfirming that you have the investment that you can make. You can invest, again, in being bitter towards these people, this group, whatever they're doing, when actually everything comes out. Because eventually everything comes out the wash. Or, again, you can see how do I explain this? I sound like a crazy person. Or you can see how invested the divine is in you. I know that's crazy. That's crazy to talk about. But again, you were selected for this because of your moral compass. And I get that with this Seven of Pentacles. Look at all those eggs there. Look at this person right here, this only one here who has all that, who's been trusted to manage all this. Yeah. Some reason, you don't know it, you don't see it, but you were meant to conquer this conflict in whatever this community is with these wolves. That goes round and round and round and round. This could have been happening since you were young. Like, this could really be how people have been operating for a while now. And whoever this ancestor is, they kind of had a feeling what was going to happen, I wonder. They had a feeling, or they knew, they had some kind of inkling that this was going on. Or was going to happen. Maybe they tried to put stuff into place so that these others would receive stuff. So maybe that these others would feel full enough from whatever that they were getting, but they're not. They're beings that are never satisfied. And I say that because we do have NPCs who are in this programming of actually never being satisfied. Nothing is ever enough. They can have the very thing that they wanted, but within so many moments, it's not good enough no more. They're never satisfied. Ooh. And as I say that, ooh, here we come, the Magician. What I'm hearing, it has to do with this person who plays a lot of games. This person plays both sides of the field. Alright, we got good magicians, we got bad magicians. But I say they play both sides of the field because you don't know which way they go sometimes. You've had something that they've done, something that they've said has shown you a red flag about them. And it could have been maybe in some kind of emotional state. You've noticed that they could be like very selfish, very just on them. They're not going to do it unless they're benefiting from something. Could be the very things that they even have around them with this Four of Swords. What I get, it's even like, I don't know what it is. It's something that they talk about. They put something out there that they talk about. And It could be emotionally charged. So it's like, oh my gosh, how do I explain this? They could find something really crude on the internet, and it could be like somebody playing a trick on somebody else, and it's something that's very mean, and this person gets the biggest laugh out of it. Like, this person will kind of like run to others like, look at this is so funny, look at how this person reacts to them, you know, having this done to them, look at this. And like watching somebody else suffer, in a sense, kind of gets this person off. It's weird. Oh my gosh, that's interesting. Alright, so I have this Knight of Wands here. What is this Knight of Wands wanting to say? Getting unblocked. Unsure how to do it though. How do you make the movement to even unblock this, to open this door to these wolves? What I get is, in a sense, you feel like you don't have the power to. You don't feel like it's your place to. For some reason, you put these others on some kind of pedestal. Let's see. Could be because they're a nightmare to deal with. The nightmare to deal with them has been something that's been going on for a long time. Again, these traditions here with the Hierophant, you got this Six of Cups going back into like a childhood. Then we have this King of Pentacles, very kind of out on their own, only about them, only again showing up if it's good for them. Then I have a Ten of Pentacles here that's in a confused position with a Wheel of Fortune. Confused on if things can work out differently. Confused on if anything and everything, here we go, can change about this. What is the direct direction to go? How do I go in that direction but still protect myself from losing it all? What is this all though? Is this all the community? Could it be the co-workers? Could it be family? Could it be friends that you're outgrowing here? You really got to ask yourself, what is this? I don't know, with the star here, that's wish fulfillment. Whatever this isn't fulfilling. This isn't your wish fulfillment. But you're under the notion that you have to keep dealing with it. You're under the notion that this is the way it is. That this is just like the circle of life. Ooh, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with that. Alright, last few cards here. As I say that, we have more swords coming out. I have an Eight of Swords, almost in a full reverse, and then I have this Ace of Swords. Whatever this isn't a place where you can bring in new things. This isn't a place where we're welcoming, say, more of an intellectual evolvement. What you got is somebody, something, someplace who keeps it the same. It's the same structure, the same reactions. Everything has to be the same. And I get the same with the swords Because swords to me and what I'm getting right now is like a very, very controlling energy here. That's what these people, place, thing, it's all about the control of something. And if you go off on this venture, you feel like you're doomed to lose it all. I don't know. What I get is the image of like a circus bear who has never seen grass. And it's been working in the circus since it was a cub. And now it's like 15, 20 years later, and it's broke down from working this strict, controlled routine. You know, and finally somebody comes along and it helps free it. They buy it and they take it to a sanctuary, and finally the circus bear gets to touch grass. Whatever this is, on the other side of things, if you can make it through it, you're gonna be able to touch grass. You're not gonna be doing tricks for this circus anymore, whatever this is. It's just a lot. It's a lot. All I see are like chains here. Lots of chains. Very constricted here. Very constricted and never satisfied. Always needing control. Holy moly, what are these wolves doing? Doing the most to make the most, I heard. Holy moly. Let's go ahead and explore the block. Angels of protection, I'm calling you into this block. Help protect and guide us as we navigate this block and figure out what's going on here. What needs to come out for the block? The sun energy. You're confused. You are confused. You're not that little kid anymore. You're not that teenager anymore. You're this adult now. Don't be confused. Do not be confused. When you start to doubt who you are, where you came from, what position in life you actually playing now, then you start to demote yourself. You start to put yourself under other people's authorities. There's a time and there's a place for that, especially when you are young and you are dumb. But I don't feel like I'm talking to a Cancerian that's young and dumb anymore. I just feel like they put themselves in that position because there is a lack of belief in themselves. A lack of understanding what their mission is, what their purpose is here. Some we're not seen as the Chariot. Your purpose could be to create this movement. To not give a choice to this movement. To create this movement within yourself and to keep going. What happens when a train comes through and it's not supposed to stop? It's not where one of its stops are. It doesn't stop. It keeps going. And I think Cancerian, you kind of doubt this ability of being able to kind of freight train this change. Sometimes freight training can be bad. Freight training can definitely we can miss out on a lot of things when we blindly freight train through something in life. We can definitely run ourselves down when we try to freight train through something in life. And what that means is just going through something quick and not stopping. But I feel like one of the things that you do need to freight train to and with is definitely with compassion, knowing that these people are a bunch of dumbasses and that's just the cycle that they're stuck on. I don't know, they can't get out of that revolving door. That's on them, to each their own. But also creating this momentum, this movement when it comes to taking care of yourself, fulfilling yourself, especially after dealing with whatever this is, and continuing to do that. Because I have a feeling you're going to feel guilty about this, because however long you've known whoever these are, but they don't want you to be upset. This is when they try and guilt trip you or something. This is when you kind of, again, freight train through that and instead go do something for yourself. Not something greedy. I mean something in taking care of yourself, giving back to yourself. You know, really starting to isolate that you are a support system for yourself and that you believe in yourself. You believe in what you're doing here. What else needs to come out for this block? Woo, doggers. Ooh, you may have to give him a piece of your mind. What I'm hearing is you're gonna have to probably stand up and testify. Whatever this is, you're gonna have to stand up and testify. Take that however it means. Whether it's in court or it's just something that's going on. But you're gonna have to stand up and testify to what has been happening, the games that have been being played, whatever's going on. But you're gonna have to do it at what I'm hearing is a diligent level, a very official kind of level. You can't get immature. Don't get into what it is, a mudslinging contest with these ones. That's what I think it is. Yeah. It's a lot of thoughts here. Don't give room to anything that these ones are gonna say. I think that this is what this knight is saying here is go with what you're thinking, go with what you're going. Don't pay attention to these others because they're trying to leave you entrapped. Whatever it is that's gonna come about, whatever friction, whatever pushback you're gonna receive when you start to expose these wolves in the herd of sheep here. Just don't. You need to be really solid in yourself, really solid in your mind, really solid that you know what your purpose is, what you're operating out of. Remember, you're operating out of, and this is pretty neat because I have this 5 of Wands that lands on top of the other 5 of Wands. Yeah, you need to get solid in what you're doing. The conflict. I'm hearing corruption. Whatever's happening here. The dishonesty. Whatever this is. Just know at the core why you're challenging this. You're challenging it because you're using your moral and your ethic compass to navigate this. And you know what? You're staying true to yourself. Again, this is why somehow you are in close frequency with the divine. Know that. Believe in that. Again, because if not, if these others knew they could tempt you, oh, they would have done it already. I'm telling you, what else needs to come out for this block? With this 6 here like this, the 6 of Pentacles underneath this 8 of Swords. Ooh. Oh, they're gonna be unfair. I just accept it. Just accept it. Either they're gonna try and do something really unfair to you, or they're gonna make it seem like you're being unfair to them. They could be getting others involved in this to try and gang up on you in a sense. But these others don't know the fullness of the story. They don't know the fullness of what's going on behind these closed doors. But I feel like, what is that saying? And I'm hearing it and I quote, whatever threats these people try and make, because it could have to do with money. It could have to do with threatening your resources. Whatever threats they try to make, what I'm hearing, and I quote, is they don't have a pot to piss in. Excuse me. So don't mind their threats, but don't go over trying to spend on something to overcompensate. To think that that's gonna help you win. No, again, trusting in your intuition, your people reading skills. You know when they're bluffing. Because remember, you've known these whoever these wolves are, you've known them for a while. The Fool. This is one of the biggest things that we battle in life, is taking the Fool's journey. The Fools dive into a different depth. Whether it's within our community, within ourselves. This is a hard one. Especially when you're using your moral and ethical compass in such a corrupt community. This is really hard. There's no easy way to put this, Cancerian. If you choose to do this mission here, this is going to be hard. This is really going to be hard. And whatever it is these people could put you in a position, this thing could put you in a position where you feel like you're never going to get rest from it. They're going to put you in a position where it feels like you're going to lose everything. They could be trying to rock your boat so much, get you unbalanced, so you won't even pursue it. If you get close to it, you'll definitely see them react. I don't know. One of the things that they do, and I'm being told to use the celebrities for example, is they like to make a person feel crazy. That's a tactic that they like to use, is to make a person feel crazy. It's something that they could be trying to do here too. Because remember, it's a lot of thoughts. It's hard. I am one who knows this journey. I am one who still deals with the repercussions from these others at times. What was it, up until last year? It had been already so many years later. Still, because they're bitter, they're upset. I am not going with their program, and no way in hell am I going back to that program. I like to do something different. But was it my mission? Did something else come out of it? Could I have helped other members? Yeah, definitely. I made a big change. If I didn't do it, nobody else was doing it. Nobody else was saying anything. Nobody else wanted to change anything. And I did my changes. I stood up. And I couldn't do this anymore because of my moral and ethical compass. I couldn't go against it. It was too strong in me. So it's hard. It is hard. But a hop, skip, and a jump from then until now, more happier than I've ever been, honestly. The weight of what they were doing, what they're cycling through, it's been slowly but surely lifting off of my shoulders. And I still have to do work not to overthink it, but also to process my emotions from it. That's the one neat thing about this journey, is we're always learning something new about ourselves. And that was told to Pisces. They were right before you, Cancerian. Here, you're going to learn how to believe in yourself. You're going to learn how to trust in yourself. You could learn that one of your missions here is to be that energy that flushes out corruption, that flushes out things that keep people in generational curses, places that keep this routine of these individuals who are doing the most to make the most, but doing the least to help the ones that are basically helping them make whatever it is. They're not giving back. So believe in yourself. Believe how you are aligned with the divine. How your frequency is right there with them. And how this is your mission here. Get down. Start communicating with the divine, your ancestors, your guides, your angels. Remember, it's your ancestor that came through on this one. It really is. They believe in you. Don't forget that. What is the last card for the block here? For Cancerian. What do I do? What do I do? Do I rock the boat? Do I not rock the boat? How fast to go, or do I even go at all? Can I validate myself? Can I validate with what I think about this? What I'm seeing? What I'm observing? That's what you're going back and forth on with this. Especially being entrapped in the mind. Oh my goodness. Don't feel like you're out on your own, Cancerian community. We all go through this. But we all have our times. We all have our tests. And we all have our lessons. In our own timing. Because again, The divine has its own plans for us. I don't know what it is. Sometimes they say we sign these soul contracts before we even get here. So I don't know what you signed up for. I don't. But I'm here along with your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy to help you navigate it. So let's go ahead and go to the conclusion. Divine and universal energy, what is it that needs to come out for the conclusion for the Cancerian community? We've been saying this. It's bittersweet. It is a bittersweet thing. Understand it. Feel it. As much as you don't want this to be the truth, as much as you're hoping they're not the actual wolves, it is what it is. It is what it is. You can't make people act differently, just like you can't change their beliefs. You're not them. We have this throat chakra here. Expression, creativity, clear communication, confidence in speaking. When it's out of balance, it's fear of speaking, shyness, social anxiety. Start to balance that out. Really start to balance that out. I would even, if you find yourself emotionally charged about this, and whatever you have to do when it comes to speaking upon it, to it, about it, again, because remember we had that word testify. So it's clearing up the throat chakra, understanding that this is a bittersweet situation. Whatever happens to these individuals, it's not your fault for standing up for what you believed in. Again, with the morals and the ethics. That's their fault, their choices. They knew right from wrong. They used their free will the way they chose to. Just know that. Don't put any of it on you. That's not your fault. They all had a choice to do what you're going to do if you choose to. They all had a choice to stand up against it. And they chose not to. So, whatever emotions you start to feel that create an imbalance in you, I would journal them out. I would write it out. I would, scream into a pillow. You gotta let it out, though. You gotta let it out. You gotta put it out there. You gotta talk about it with somebody confidentially, though. Not when you're testifying or whatever. But you need to let it out so when it comes time for you to speak, your throat chakra is more balanced. You can have that clear communication when it comes time. Practice what you want to say. Practice what you want to express. But all that nitty-gritty expression that's really emotionally charged, you got to let that one out first. You gotta get that out the way because you're allowed to have an emotional reaction. You're human. That's okay. Alright, something else we are not seeing is recovery. We have this crown chakra here. Recovery, recovering this key. What I feel like is when you get out of this mess, you get out of their entanglement, their thought process, whatever they thought was fair, you're going to be able to find something. You're going to be able to have more of a spiritual connection. You're going to find enlightenment. There's going to be some inner wisdom coming about because you learned something here. You're going to have a unity of a conscious. But this conscious, again, might not just be that intellectual. This is transcendent. This is coming from the 12th house Pisces, which is in the new moon. This comes at a spiritual kind of thing. But it only happens when you make the moves to flesh out these wolves. If you don't flesh out these wolves and you go along with their program, you don't get this key. Now, we got this sacral chakra representing healthy relationships. We got impasse here. These people may have made you feel like there was no other options. Usually when an impasse happens, it's just the way it is. It's like we both agree to disagree kind of thing. But with it coming out in reverse, I feel like you have an option. You have an option, and this is again where you probably get stuck in your head thinking you don't. You have an option. You have an option to pick a different path, to pick a different time to do it, to pick even a different way of doing it. You have these options. Don't forget that. And this represents joy, passion, healthy relationships, creativity. But also when it's out of balance, it's fear of change here. Social dysfunction, emotional instability, lack of creativity. Yeah, like I said, there's many ways you can go about this. Don't let them fool you. Do not let them fool you. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Look at all this coming out. First thing that I see, though, is here. What did I tell you? Something's going to change here. Someone is going to feel it on a spiritual level. Don't be confused about it. Don't be confused about it. This is your spiritual mission here. Balance. Balance, 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 balance. Oh, some more of this. Oh, one thing that we have to learn, and this is something that's going to help feed this renewal, I feel like, because we have this root chakra: stability, groundedness, security, and vitality. What happens with this, I believe this is gonna be, is it my third eye or is it more throaty throat? It's a little bit of an in-between color. But with this balance here, look at how this person is balancing the weight of their own world while others look away, displeased, unhappy. Why are they unhappy? Is it because this person didn't put down this, what they have to balance in their own world to tend to them? Maybe it's understanding that not everybody is gonna appreciate the balance that we're trying to bring into certain places, situations, things with people. Maybe it's being open to that, because this person looks past. They don't care. They're trying to be fair with it. Maybe that's another thing that's gonna help create that stability in you when you have this renewal, when you see that you are here for this purpose. That this purpose didn't just happen for you to suffer. It didn't happen for you to sit there and just watch how this is happening. And again, to suffer with it at night when you go to bed, when you're awake, when you have to deal with it. Then I have isolation. In reverse, and you're at odds ends. I really feel like you need to go on that retreat. Then we have the heart chakra you're not seeing here with growth. This isolation was face down too. And remember, we had retreat here, knowing when to hold them, knowing when to throw them, knowing when to bluff them, all that good stuff. Knowing when to take a step back from these individuals. Again, I feel like they're going to try and overpower you. They're going to try and do something. They're going to try and be in your face. They're going to try and just put so much weight on you that they think that it's going to crush you. Remember, there's going to be a lot of mental tactics, but I also think I mentioned emotional manipulation there. They're trying to put you back into a position of not believing in yourself, only believing what they've been doing, what's been happening, all that stuff. But again, trusting in yourself, being able to even go off on your own to process this. Being able to go off on your own to find out the balance that you need. You know, could be the very thing that helps you grow a little bit. Again, understanding where you're operating out of. And seeing that you're a threat. Because you're not corrupt like them. And that's just what it comes down to. If you were corrupt like them, this wouldn't bother you. But it bothers you because, again, there's a balance that needs to happen here. Regardless of how these others feel. And it's a part of your personal growth. It's a part of your renewal. And it's a part of teaching these others that what they say and how they've been going about things it's not it. It's not it. It's not the truth. It's not right. It's not okay. Nope. All right, Cancerian, this is going to conclude it. This was very interesting by far. I was not expecting this to come out. But you got it. You got it. Remember again where you're operating out of. And just lead with that. Always, 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 everything comes out in the wash. That's the saying. Way back in the day, everything comes out in the wash. So whatever happens, just know what you're operating out of. Take your time. Know when to take your breaks. You know, let out your frustrations when you have them. But also prepare yourself. Prepare that throat chakra to speak clearly, confidently. And you can actually use your heart chakra to actually help balance other chakras and to empower other chakras. That's why I point to here, this heart chakra, when I say really fill out where you're operating from when you go into flushing these wolves out. All right, so this is going to conclude it. Thank you so much, Cancerian energy. And don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming in and helping out with all these positive messages. And I hope that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.